So rolling on to related things, Joe Biden, who is acting as a leader in the United States right now. He's acting that way. People are actually telling him what to do. But he came out with an executive order, and the executive order, I believe, is an executive order, or at least it was some sort of decree from the king. Businesses with 100 plus employees must mandate vaccines in the workplace or weekly negative tests for people to work there. Now, I don't know where he gets off thinking that he has the capability or the power to do this, but he's going to try. And so there's a lot of buzz at work about this right today, because I work for my workplace employs a lot more than 100 people. And so everyone's really worried about it. And I'm just hopeful that it gets shot down in the courts, that enough people just say, no, I'm not doing this, make everyone fire them. There's already a huge demand for employees. There are huge labor shortages everywhere. You have people walking out, it's going to cause a lot of problems. The economy is going to come to a screeching halt even more than it is. You have stories that are coming out of upstate New York where certain hospitals are not going to be delivering children anymore because they don't have staff, because they refuse to get vaccinated. And so they either quit or are being in the process of being fired. So what are we to do with this? Is this just one of those other things that Biden does that he knows is unconstitutional, like the eviction moratorium, and that he literally said for that one, I know this is probably not constitutional, but I'm doing it anyway? Is this just one of those things that he's trying to see whatever he throws to the wall sticks, or is there more going on behind the scenes, or what?
I think it's a lot of that. And, probably distraction from the whole Afghan thing. This is something else to talk about for the time being, and it'll get played out however it gets played out, whether that's in court battles or just general public pushback. But the irony of this is that what we've talked about before is the groups that are least vaccinated, namely African Americans and Mexican Americans, Hispanic Americans, those are the two demographics that are least vaccinated. And
I think it's by far, right?
By quite a bit. And so what's the implication of that? You have this great liberal machine that is always, talking about, that's not even equality anymore. Now it's equity, whatever that means. But you have these discussions, we're the great liberators of, and the great social justice warriors. We fight for minorities. And here they are implementing something that is going to be most affecting of the very people they pretend to want to help protect their liberties, etc. So it'll be interesting to see how groups like the ACLU, what they do with this. I don't know if they've made any statements yet.
Therefore, I've seen some commentary about the ACLU specifically, about people saying because in years past they've been against vaccine mandates, and now they've totally flipped the script. They're just doing whatever their donors tell them to do. It's pretty a sad state of affairs.
It's amazing. They keep invalidating themselves by doing this crap.
So where does the justification end for vaccines? I may be taking this analogy too far, or because sometimes when you do kind of thought experiments, you try to take them to their logical end, or possibly a logical end. What's to say once you do this vaccine, this vaccine for COVID, many people think that humans are a virus in the world. What's to stop them from doing a vaccine that sterilizes people and prevents them from having children? Like once you set the precedent that you can vaccine anyone for any reason, because the COVID vaccine does not prevent transmission of the vaccine of the virus. There's no
Right.
It hasn't been showed. What we understand that it hasn't been shown to do that very, very well. There are other vaccines that do, like, and I have those vaccines. Yeah, they've been pretty reliably shown to prevent transmission. So am I taking this too far in that kind of mind extension there, or is it, what's your thought there?
No, they can, yeah, it gives complete license for the medical industry to do these kinds of experiments that were done, 50, 60 years ago on specific populations, with horrendous outcomes. So this isn't the first time. It's just, you would think in this enlightened age of information that you couldn't get away with this crap, and here we are. But who's to say this vaccine doesn't have
sterilants or
issues
or something that could possibly cause that?
We're just now getting around to studying what the effect on women and their cycles and the pregnancies. And how about Nicki Minaj's cousin's friend's testicles? I'm
actually pretty concerned about those.
he's impotent now, right? The wedding was canceled.
Supposedly, he could have been covering for an STD or something, but that's what I was going to say. It's like, what's to say? A lot of people think that there already are things that cause sterilization in not only this but other vaccines.
Well, yeah, the is it the polio vaccines that were given out in India? Supposedly they're finding all kinds of issues with fertility in Africa and India. But there's no incentive to truly study that in an honest way, and there is a huge agenda out there that wants to control. There's an agenda out there. There are people out there concerned about the population of the world, and they can, I can understand that, but we need to debate that, and we need to debate the morality of that and how we do meet the demands of population and all the needs of the world. But to do it through, shifty little medical experiments, that's not okay. That is not one I'm okay with.
How about if we do it? How about if? Go ahead.
I was going to say, if you want to do it through industrialization, developed countries tend to become more educated. More educated countries tend to populate less. So if you want to go that route, great. Let's encourage economic development in third world countries. I am all for that. But medical experimentation? No, thank you. That is not ethical in God's or Satan's playbook as far as I'm concerned.
How about genetically modified mosquitoes spreading things that will make you sterile? Maybe, Bill Gates. Seems like he's been involved with some pretty sketchy things. He's talked specifically about his concern about the population getting too large.